Pause for a moment and feel the weight of this question. Why are the strongest souls often born into the most toxic families? Picture a child, radiant with potential, yet surrounded by chaos, criticism, neglect, or betrayal cutting like invisible. Why does life place its brightest sparks in such darkness? I am Carl Jung, and today I'm here to unravel this mystery, to guide you through the alchemy of trauma and the spiritual awakening that follows. In the next few minutes, I'll reveal why your pain was no accident, how it forged your strength, and why your soul chose this path. Stay with me. This journey will crack open your heart and set your spirit aflame. Life is no random game of chance. The soul, in its infinite wisdom, selects its challenges before it enters this world. You, who have endured the sting of a toxic family, were not cursed, but chosen by your own soul to face trials that would sculpt you into a force of resilience, wisdom, and love. The family that wounded you was not a mistake, but a crucible, a sacred furnace where your strength was born. This is not mere philosophy. It is a truth I've seen in the depths of the human psyche, a pattern woven through countless lives. Your pain has a purpose, and today we'll uncover it together. Let me take you back to my own life, to a moment that shaped my understanding of this truth. As a boy, I grew up in a home shadowed by tension. My father, a pastor, was a man of faith, but carried a quiet despair that seeped into our life. His unspoken struggles clashed with my mother's unpredictable moods, creating a storm I could neither escape nor understand. I felt like an outsider in my own family, a stranger bearing dreams and questions no one could answer. Yet, in that isolation, I began to listen to my dreams, to the symbols that flickered in my mind, to the voice of my soul. That pain, that sense of not belonging, drove me to explore the psyche, to forge a path that became my life's work. My toxic roots didn't break me. They burnt me. You too have felt this alienation, haven't you? The sting of harsh words, the ache of being unseen, the confusion of loving those who hurt you. You may have wondered, oh, why? But what if I told you that your soul chose this family, this pain to awaken you? In my work, I discovered that the soul seeks growth above comfort. It plunges into darkness not to suffer, but to find the light within. Your toxic family was the stage for your soul's greatest drama, a story of survival, transformation, and triumph. Let me share a fact that may shift your perspective. In my studies of the psyche, I developed the concept of the shadow, the hidden parts of ourselves we reject or fear. Toxic families often force us to confront this shadow early. The criticism you endured, the love you craved but didn't receive, the chaos you navigated. All of it pushed you to face parts of yourself others avoid. This is why strong souls emerge from such hope. They've wrestled with their shadows while still young, forging an inner strength that others may never know. Modern psychology echoes this. Studies show that those who overcome early adversity often develop heightened resilience, empathy, and a deeper sense of purpose. Your pain didn't weak. It shot. Let me weave you a story of a patient, Maria, who came to me in her 30s, her eyes carrying the weight of a lifetime. She grew up in a home ruled by her father's anger and her mother's silence. Every day was a battle to be seen, to be loved, yet she was met with rejection. She told me she felt like a weed in a garden, unwanted, unworthy. Unworthy our work together, Maria began to see her childhood differently. She realized that her father's rage taught her to set boundaries, her mother's silence taught her to listen to her own voice, and her loneliness taught her to love herself. By facing her pain, she uncovered a gift, a talent for healing others through her work. Maria became a writer, her stories touching thousands. Her toxic family didn't destroy her, it shaped her into a beacon. This is the paradox of your journey. The very wounds that scarred you hold the seeds of your greatness. The neglect you faced taught you self-reliance. The criticism you endured taught you to trust your inner compass. The chaos you survived taught you to create order within. You are not a victim of your family. You are a warrior forged in their fire. Think of the strongest people you know, the ones who inspire. Many of them carry stories like yours, tales of early pain transformed into purpose. They didn't rise despite their past. They rose because of it. Let me ask you to feel this. What is the cost of denying your pain's purpose? The bitterness of blaming your family forever. The exhaustion of carrying unhealed wounds. The regret of a life because you couldn't see your strength. I've seen too many souls trapped in this cycle, unable to move forward, because they saw their trauma as a curse, not a catalyst. But you can break that cycle today. You can choose to see your pain as the raw material of your awakening. Let me share a myth. For myths are the soul's language. In ancient Greece, the god Hephaestus was born to Hera, who cast him from Olympus for his imperfection. He fell broken into the sea, yet was rescued and raised. In his pain, Hephaestus learned to forge, creating weapons and wonders unmatched by any god. His rejection, his fall, became his power. You are Hephaestus. Your toxic family cast you out in their own way. But in your fall, you learned to forge your own strength, your own beauty. Would you rather have been born perfect, untouched by pain, or would you choose the fire that made you unbreakable? This is what happens when you embrace your trauma. You awaken. You see that your pain was not a punishment, but a preparation. You begin to integrate your shadow, to heal your wounds, to step into your purpose. This is not a quick fix, journey. In my work, I call this individuation, the process of becoming your true self. It requires facing your pain, not fleeing it. Every time you acknowledge a wound, forgive a hurt, or reclaim a part of yourself, you move closer to wholeness. Science supports this. Trauma-focused therapies show that processing pain builds resilience and opens pathways to growth. But beyond the data, there's a felt truth. When you face your past, you feel a shift, a lightness, a clarity of fire. What does this look like in your life? It's sitting with a memory and letting yourself feel it without judgment. It's writing a letter to your younger self, offering the love you didn't receive. It's setting a boundary with a family, even if it's hard. It's pursuing a dream that your family mocked because you know it's yours. These acts of courage are the steps of your awakening, each one bringing you closer to the soul you were born to be. Let me share another moment from my life, a time when I nearly lost my way. In my 40s, as I delved deeper into the collective unconscious, the shared symbols that bind humanity, faced a storm of criticism, called my work unscientific. Friends questioned my sanity, and even my family one. For a moment, I doubted myself, wondering if my childhood pain had led me astray. But then I returned to my dreams, to the visions that had guided me since boyhood. I chose to trust them. That choice led to discoveries, archetypes, synchronicity to light the way for others. My early pain didn't mislead me. It guided me. You too will face doubt. The world may tell you to forget your past, to move on without you. Family members may resist your growth, unable to face your growth, unable not failure. It's a force. It tests your commitment to your awakening. When it comes, ask, why am I here? What is my soul seeking? Hold that answer close, and you'll find the strength to keep going. Let me tell you about Samuel, a man I met during my travel. He grew up in a home fractured by addiction, his parents' love buried under their own pain. As a child, he hid in his room, drawing to escape the chaos. He told me he felt invisible, unworthy. Yet, in his adulthood, Samuel became an artist, his work radiant with hope. He realized that his parents' neglect taught him to see beauty in the broken, that his isolation taught him to create. His toxic family didn't dim his light. What's your art? What gift did your pain carve into you? Here's another story, one from my own heart. As a child, I once wandered into the woods near my home, lost in thought. I stumbled on a wounded bird, its wing broken. I carried it home, tending it until it could fly. That bird stayed with me, a symbol of my own wound. My family's tension broke me in ways I couldn't see then. But in caring for that bird, I learned to care for myself. Your toxic family broke you too. But in your healing, you're learning to tend your own way. What's your birth? What part of you needs your care? Let me share one more tale of a patient named Clara. She grew up with a mother who criticized her every move, leaving her feeling small. Clara became a teacher, but her confidence was fragile. In our work, she faced her mother's voice, not to hate it, but to understand it as a reflection of her mother's pain. Clara began to speak kindly to herself, to teach with passion. Her students adored her, drawn to her womb. Her toxic family didn't define her, it refined her. What's your teaching? What light will you share? This is why strong souls are born into toxic families. To awaken through trauma, to forge light from darkness, to become whole. Your pain was not a curse, but a call to rise. You are not your family's wounds. You are the healer of your own soul, the warrior of your own soul. Here's your call to action, your soul's command. Start your awakening today. Take one brave step. Write down a wound you've carried and release it with forgiveness. Pursue one dream your family doubted because it's yours. Set one boundary to protect your life. Then share your step. Tell a friend or drop it in the comments below. Your story isn't just yours, it's a spark for others. Subscribe to this channel for more soul shaking truths and hit that bell so we can walk this path together. Let's build a tribe of warriors, healers, and awakens. I am Carl Jung and I see your strength. The fire is within you.